Welcome back, everyone, to the Stay Introverted podcast. I am your co-host, Jay Coleman.
And I'm your other co-host, Steph Lappy.
And as always, just want to say thank you for joining us on this podcasting journey that Steph and I have been on for about a year now, closing in on a year. So, how do you feel about that?
I feel so many things. I feel like, first of all, amazed that we've recorded 41 episodes to date. But also like more confident in my voice than ever. That got really deep really quick.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I didn't think that like a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago, I didn't think I'd ever have a podcast. I've been on a few podcasts, but I never thought that I'd like have my own or have one with someone. But I realized that yeah, I do have a voice in this world. I do have something to say, and there's actually a couple of people who are interested in the things that I have to say. Um, so yeah, it's been a pretty cool ride.
Yeah, it really has been. And I mean, that's like the most mind boggling part in so many ways. Like, not even that we did it and we made it happen and we recorded all these episodes and we had conversations, but that like people tune in to listen. Like, a lot of people.
Yeah,
That's pretty crazy.
yeah. Didn't someone stop you on the street the other day?
Yeah, because I don't know who he was. I still don't. But apparently we have a mutual friend. And he stopped me on the street and he said, "Hey, like, are you the girl behind Journey of an Introvert?" I said, "Yeah, now introspective, I guess."
Mhm.
But yep, that's me. He goes, "Oh, are you friends with Vanessa?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I just wanted to tell you that I listened to the Stay Introverted podcast and I love everything that you're doing, and it just keep on being a voice for introverts." I was like, "Oh my goodness, okay, like this is wild. Wow." I was like, "Am I a celebrity?" But I feel bad because I didn't manage to get his name. So I can't even like reach out on Instagram to be like, "Hey, like great to run into you." It was pretty wild. It blew my mind.
Well, we appreciate you, sir.
Yeah. I will
And
reach out to my friend Vanessa and kind of reverse engineer to figure out who he
there you go.
is.
Who is this unknown mutual friend that we share who likes our podcast?
Right, but like, I mean, maybe did he know that I was on the Upper West Side? He must have, because I mean, I don't really think that I was wearing a t-shirt, no makeup, like I didn't really look anything extravagant. Not that I normally do, but like it was so fascinating that he recognized me and stopped me.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, "Look at you, an introvert, brave enough to stop a celebrity on the street." Just kidding.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's to me it's weird, but it's not really weird. Like I've had a couple of like friends that I hadn't talked to in a while. Congratulating me about the podcast, said that they really liked it. And it's cool. Obviously, you want your friends and close people to know about it, but I know specifically that I hadn't told them.
Mhm.
So I was like, wow, I don't really broadcast anything that I do, which is probably not the best thing since since I own my own business and a podcast. I should be marketing as much as I can, but I'm getting there. But yeah, he mentioned a couple of them had mentioned that they listen to the podcast and that they're proud of me, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I think because in general, I don't really talk about myself or the things that I'm doing, even if they are awesome or great. I just never been a person to broadcast the things that I'm doing. So when people take notice and are actually interested and proud of me, like that's a pretty awesome feeling.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you say that because I feel like I don't shut up about myself and like everything that I'm doing. But like I only do it on like my public account, like my personal account. I'm like you, I forget to share all the awesome things that I'm doing. So I'm always surprised when like people in my actual like real life are like, "Oh my god, I listened to the podcast." I'm like, "Really? How did you find that?" They're like, "You have a public Instagram. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, it's weird because like, yeah, I I'm on Facebook every day. I'm on Instagram every day. I'm on
Mhm.
TikTok every day, but I'm not on my personal accounts every
Right,
day. Like I don't
right.
think I posted to my personal Facebook account this year.
Oh
like,
wow, okay.
like I like I'm if I even go to my personal account, it's probably by accident, and then
Right,
it's just to see like whose birthday it is, then I'll say happy birthday.
right.
But my personal Instagram, I haven't posted in like in years, and
Okay.
it's not even like a truly personal account. It's like about buses because I love buses.
Oh, okay. Right, right.
So it's like
That's so funny.
yeah, so I was like I haven't posted that. I have to get back on that. I don't have a personal TikTok account, but yeah, it's just you know I'm not. I don't post to my personal account really about anything. So I was like, how do you know about this? But yeah, I had this whole public persona, I guess, where I'm always posting about either my shirts or posting about the podcast. And I guess a couple people watch, so it's just pretty cool.
Yeah, it is interesting. I actually had somebody from my neighborhood from like way back like text me and say, "Oh my God, I'm listening to the episode with it was with Will."
Hmm.
And he was like, "I am laughing out loud. Like this is hysterical." So it like that was really cool because I didn't know until he texted me that he was listening. And the fact that he found us funny, I was just like, wow. Okay, look at us. It's like you guys are natural. Like it was almost like you guys forgot that you were recording anything. I'm like, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, and I think for me that's kind of the best kind of like podcast or type of recording is when you forget or don't even really pay any mind to the fact that the camera's on or that the mic is on. You're just talking. You know,
Right.
I, yeah.
The only time I remember that there's a camera rolling or a microphone on is like when my dogs or my husband start screaming in the background, or with one of my other podcasts, my husband has actually walked by um Commando. So that's fun. Had to edit that out. We had we had a we had a guest. So that time I remembered real well that, oh, this is being recorded.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
Sean.
a real quick reminder that we were recording.
We're recording. Sean,
Yeah.
we're recording.
And I told him 85 times we were recording with a guest, mind you. Make sure that if you must pass by, that you put pants on. And what does he do if he does not put pants on?
All
What are we
right.
gonna do?
Yeah, we're just gonna it's just gonna edit that out, I guess. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my god, stuff like it was on Becoming Human AF, and
Hmm.
stuff is dying. She's at this point she's pretty used to that happening because she doesn't listen, she doesn't care. I don't really know, but yeah, you remember real quickly that you were recording when that happened.
Oh my god. Well, at least it wasn't like a live stream, you know.
Oh, that would have been so fun. Not
Yeah.
really. I probably would have gotten banned from
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah, like imagine we're doing a live with one of our guests and it happens.
Oh God. Oh my God. That's like the early, like, I don't even have an excuse really because it's not, we're 4 years into COVID. Like, you would think that I would have this shit figured out, but nope. I'm not really big on screen blur and like blurring my screen. So, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not what you want to see,
But I will say, again, you obviously you don't want that to happen. But the good part is that it's your husband, someone that you know. I think during the early days rather of COVID, um, everyone was getting used to the remote broadcasting. So there was this newscaster who was, I guess, giving a report from his hotel room, and
Oh,
he was live, and the background wasn't blurred, and he's talking, and there's this woman who walks into the screen commando, which was bad enough, but um he was married and the woman was not his wife
so national TV.
on national TV. Yeah, so everyone found out that he was having an affair at the same time. um and he was no longer working there after that. So yeah.
That you can like, what do you even? You need to like come up with a new name for that that show. It's like Lightning and Ladies. I don't know.
It's called how to lose your wife in 10 seconds. I guess that's a great.
I like that. He should have marketed. He should have branded that. He should have just run with it.
Yeah,
What's he doing nowadays?
I have no idea. No one's heard from him. No.
You know that's something that's really lacking. I feel in celebrity culture, or not even celebrity, like D-list, like non-celebrity or people that are famous but like not really celebrities. Like when you see shit like that happen, then they just fall off the face of the earth. Like I want to know what happened next. Or even with like front page headline news, like sometimes you'll see like an outrageous story, but then there's never any follow up. Like I once read an article about this guy that um there was something to do with his daughter and like wolves or something, and it really stuck with me. I'm not going to get into it. It's a really fucked up story, and I cannot find anywhere what happened with this family, and I need to know.
That's a good point. Like, what happens to these people? Like, do they just like go into the ether? Like, where do they go? Where is there like a program
Right?
where they go and they just like hide out until stuff gets
Where's the
better?
follow up?
Yeah, we need that in our lives.
We need where are they now
Mm-hmm. And don't
for
and
like every news story.
Yeah, and don't tell me they went to rehab. I hate that. I hate when people say like something happens and I'm going to rehab. For what? Like you cheated on your wife, or like you're an asshole. What's the rehab for being an asshole? I don't know what that is.
I bet there is one.
Huh?
Like maybe just mental health. I don't know.
I don't know. But
Yeah,
yes,
because I mean that happens like a lot on reality TV. Like they go because I watch a lot of it. I have like a reality TV problem. Whenever they do anything bad, they always go to rehab. That's so true, and it's usually some kind of like mental health facility. But for some reason, they always call it rehab.
yeah, I don't know. But newscaster person who cheated on his wife and had the woman walk out naked. Um, where are you? Let us know.
Yeah,
Are you
let
okay?
us know if you're listening.
Are you okay?
How's your wife?
How's your, ask me for a friend. Just how are you?
How's your family?
How you
Yeah.
family?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, this really went off on a tangent. Wow. So this episode was supposed to be about all the things that we've learned and how much we've grown since we started podcasting, and this is clearly a sign that we have grown quite a bit.
And we've learned to make sure that we don't have naked ass people walking around when we're recording. That's the lesson from all this. Keep your clothes on.
Have we though? Because the last time this happened was like 3 weeks ago. I
Sure.
don't know if I've learned that, but we're getting
We're
there.
getting there.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, on a more serious note, um, how would you say that like having this podcast has like changed you for the better?
I think that having this podcast I've definitely gotten bolder in a sense, meaning that um, before, like if I wanted to collaborate with someone, or if I needed help, or if I wanted to have a talk with someone, like I always thought that I was like bothering that person. So like I would always be hesitant to either reach out to someone, either definitely on the phone, but even on IG or Facebook. Like I always there's always that voice in my head that's like, I don't really want to bother them. They might say no. They don't really want to fuck with me. All those sorts of like negative thoughts. But like now, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I just reach out and ask. Like, I reached out to a content creator that I've been following for a couple of years. I asked him if, hey, you know, I like your content. I think that our content is similar. I like that you make content for introverts. I actually think he does a much better job of um, speaking on camera than I do. So he's able to actually create better stories. And I wanted him to wear some of my shirts in his
Oh
videos.
wow.
So I just reached out to him on IG, and he said yes. So we're getting the details and everything together. We're working that out, and I might mess around and have my first influencer. You know?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
That's so awesome.
yeah.
And yeah, I feel like most people, I bet you would be surprised by how many people would probably say something similar, that they're so worried that like they're bothering people, even people that have been doing this for years or that are super experienced. Like that's such a human thing. I don't even think it's like an introvert thing. It's just like a human thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of like we all want to be like liked. We all want to be belong. All want to belong. We all want to be perceived in a positive way, and I just think it's so relatable.
Definitely. And I've also learned to interact more with my community. Now, I've been fortunate enough, and we've talked about how my following has grown over the last couple of years, and I interact with them a
Oh,
lot.
you're talking about it,
Yeah, I'm
huh?
actually
You're not so
yeah, I'm actually
shy.
talking about it. I get what 34,000 members now, so.
Mm.
I would say definitely since having the podcast, I become more confident about sharing more parts of myself in my content, but also reaching out and actually having constructive dialogues with some of my followers. And I've been able to work, and I am able to work on a couple of projects with a few of them. I'm working with one to I love music. You know this. I've been open about my love of music. It comes through in my content. So I'm working with her on making like it's it's not an introvert playlist. It's like more like a songbook. Like we're
Okay.
like I guess I would call it like an introvert remix songbook where we just we're like
Mm.
making remixes to some of our favorite songs. But she's dope at writing. I
Okay.
can write, but I don't like writing. It makes my hand hurt
Right.
and my head hurt. Uh, but I realized that I've gotten more confident in my ability to actually reach out to people, and I've learned that there are people who want to reach out, want to work with me, but who may
Yeah.
be feeling like I felt that they were bothering me, or that I would never, I'm too big or whatever to work with them. And I'm like, nah, let's work. It's a good feeling when you know you want to work with someone and you find out that, hey, I can want to work with you too. Like that's cool. Kind of
Right.
like us.
Yeah. Oh, like what do you? Don't shit on my small following, okay? My small following is beautiful.
You got a great following. Your following's awesome. No, I mean like
You're like you and your little following. I work with people of all sizes.
No, I meant like it's great that when I reached out to you to do the podcast, I was hoping I didn't realize how
I'm teasing
yeah,
you.
but it's cool. I'm happy that we both wanted to do a podcast, and like here we are, a
Yeah,
year later.
yeah. It is absolutely awesome. I really actually feel like it's crazy because we really are recording this almost to the day a year after you called me and asked me to do a podcast. I have a photographic memory when it comes to dates,
Nice.
so I know off the top of my head that you called me the first week of August. So like, and as of like we're recording this on July 30th,
Mhm.
so it really has been a year.
Nice.
It's crazy. But yeah, I totally relate. I feel like just kind of going off of that in terms of boldness, I feel like that boldness has extended into my personal life, my career, just like the way that I interact with my even my friends. Like I don't know that I would necessarily like rigid and like super like I feel like I'm just more confident to like show 100% of myself, no matter who's in the room or who's listening. Like I feel like I was in so many ways and in so many instances kind of holding back or hiding parts of myself, maybe without even realizing it. I feel like it was almost subconscious sometimes, but like, especially at work, I was afraid to like fully show people who I am. I was afraid to like let my sense of humor out, and then even amongst like certain friends, I was like a lot more shy and reserved, and just like not totally comfortable being 100% myself. And now I feel like because of the podcast, like since we show up each week and just put ourselves out there and talk and forget that there is a camera or a microphone running, except when someone's naked. Uh, uh, um, I I just I just show up as me like all the time now. Like unless I'm really tired or like really in my feels, like I don't really put on the mask anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that because I definitely feel the same way. I guess I'll even kind of for me, I'll take it a step further. I've I've definitely become more aware and more appreciative of the people that are in my corner and the people that um, wish me well, want me to succeed, or are excited about me doing the things that I'm doing, both in the business space and the podcasting space. I become much more aware of those who are actively rooting for me, rooting for us, and I've been taking kind of the time to kind of just see who's rooting for me to succeed, and um, I've I've had to make a couple of decisions to not really be friends with certain people who just aren't, and I don't feel are really in my corner like that. And it's not that they're bad people. It's nothing that they necessarily did um, on purpose. It's just I think you kind of outgrow people sometimes. Our visions, I guess, for life are different at this point in time. And for me, I realize that I need to be surrounded by people who want me to succeed and who want to, help me be the best person that I can be, who I can help them be the best versions of their self. Um, and, who are really, really interested in the idea of helping people. Um, I realize that as much of an introvert as I am, as isolated I guess as I can be, at the end of the day, I actually do give a fuck about people. I've come to realize this about myself. As much as I try to deny that I do actually care about people to a certain extent.
Right.
And it's like there's a line. Yeah, I
Right.
don't want you in my house all the time. But if I can help you
Mhm.
in any way other than you being here, I'm your man.
Right.
But but yeah, and I just realized that I wanted to surround myself with people like that. I'm not a save the world type of person, but just if you can help somebody. I'm not better than I don't think anyone's better than me. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. So I just realized that I'm kind of in that space right now, and I've had to um, disassociate myself from a couple of people who we're just not on the same path, and that's okay.
Right. I'm almost wondering if, like, by speaking or by sharing more of yourself and, like, by just being more open about, like, what you put out into the world, if you've gotten sort of a clearer vision of who you are, which has made it easier to see, like, who is for you and who's not for you.
Yeah, uh, yeah, because I'm talking. I've always been uncomfortable talking about myself, but this
Right.
podcast that we're on, we're talking about our thoughts and our feelings and our experiences, not just
Right.
as introverts, but as humans. We
Right.
definitely look at things through the lens of an introvert, but everything's not about just introversion. So we're talking about ourselves. We're
Right.
talking about our life experiences, our hopes, our dreams, what we want to accomplish, our fears, pet peeves. So we're talking about all of this, and I'm listening to the episodes, and yeah, there is definitely a bit of learning about myself because it's really, in many ways, this is the first time that I've actually sat and taken a really good look at myself, and
Right.
listen to what I've had to say about myself, not just what other people have said, but how I view and how I think of myself. So yeah, there's definitely that
Right.
um, understanding of who I'm becoming, and like you said, who's for me and who's not for me.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting because, like, until you have a podcast, or until you've, like, been on a podcast, you really don't get the opportunity to, like, listen to what you've said in a conversation. Like, we've all had a million, or hopefully we've all had a million meaningful conversations with, people in our lives, but it's not like we're sitting there recording them. Like, that would be kind of weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
um, I would hope nobody records my conversations, like, without my knowledge, but then again, anything's possible. Um, but anyway, like, how many deep conversations have I had with my friends, with my husband, with my parents, with my siblings about, like, what I think and feel? Actually, probably more now than ever. Now that I'm more comfortable expressing myself. But in the past, I didn't also get the opportunity to go back and listen to what I said. It was just like, I said it and then we moved on. Maybe somebody would, like, recall it in a future conversation, but for the most part, like, once it was said, it was just out there and I don't remember. Like, that I have the memory of a goldfish. So, like, now having the opportunity to actually, like, go back and, like, listen and hear what it is that I'm saying, I'm believing or thinking or feeling about a certain topic, like, it's a really interesting experience.
Yeah, I, definitely. It's nah, again,
Like, sometimes I'll say things on the podcast and, like, I'll cringe in the moment or I'll be like, oh God, why did I just say that? But then I go back and listen and I'm just like, I was just, like, saying what I really think. Like, I was just being honest. And, like, that's maybe not, if I had the chance to, like, edit myself, maybe I wouldn't say it that way, or maybe I'd, like, take it back. And I guess I could, but we're not really big on, like, over editing or really editing at all right now.
Yeah, I think we, like the first like the
Yeah,
first couple of episodes, he was like, you know what, fuck it, just like
yeah, yeah. Remember you were like, I'm trying to get rid of the ums and
yeah.
likes, and I was like, that seems like a lot of work. If like maybe like in the next year, like as we start to like really expand the podcast and like explore ways that we can grow and um you know expand our community and become more professional, like maybe we will hire a producer to like clean it up, but I'm not doing
Yeah. And then in a lot of ways, I think that's good because we both of us um, have sort of created this safe space for both of us to really come in and just share our thoughts. You know, I think
right.
and for me, I think at the end of the day, you know, doesn't matter if you take away the guests, you know, everything else. This podcast really is our platform, our safe space to just say the things that we feel. You know, we have something to say. We can come here on the podcast and say it, and we don't have to worry about editing or have to worry about um, saying something that's cringeworthy. You know, I think we do a good job of kind of policing ourselves, so I don't worry about that. I don't
Right.
worry about that too much.
Right. Yeah. And oh my god, you know what I was just thinking as you were saying that? It's kind of random and like not connected to what you were saying. So I
No,
apologize. um,
it's funny you said that because I have this thing that has nothing to do with what you just said. Go ahead.
yeah, I would never have called myself out like that a year ago. I've become overly honest to the point where I'm like, damn, was that really necessary? Um, and I do this in person, like in person too. Like you probably even noticed this, like at lunch. I'm just like, yeah, okay, so let's just talk about this other
Yeah.
thought.
Segue.
This is just life with ADD.
Segue.
Segue, exactly. I'm a segue queen. Um, I've realized that about myself. I'm a segue queen. I'm so good at it. Might be a little bit of a sharp turn, but you know. Anyway, I was thinking like I was thinking particularly about the episode that we did with
Mm-hmm.
Drew. That was like that was probably the first time that I ever really publicly shared like any kind of hot takes or like controversial thoughts. And now it's like so fun. Like I'm not too controversial. I try not to be because I'm not really too much of a controversial person. I'm a little bit of a
Mm-hmm.
contrarian, but like only just because I like to see like all sides of a topic or a conversation. But I think it's so cool that like as we've gotten more comfortable and more bold with just putting ourselves out there and expressing ourselves and like as we've made this a safe space for ourselves to say exactly what's on our minds, that's what triggered the thought. It wasn't totally disconnected. Um, we've also made it safe to share opinions and thoughts and ideas that like maybe we would have been too scared to say in such a public forum in the past. So at least that's been my experience. I don't know about you, but it's been really cool to be able to just say, here's what I think about this. Here's what I think about this. Um things that I always used to play it so safe all the time, and I don't really play it safe anymore. I'm just on it.
Yeah, I think yeah, I agree 100%. I definitely think that we've both of us have felt more comfortable you know, not so much sharing hot takes, but just sharing our thoughts. You know, we're not
Right,
we're we're not going to agree on everything. I think that would kind of be boring if we did. Um, but you
right,
know, to your point, I think we do live in this era of this society where it's like if I disagree with you, you must be a bad person, or you must be stupid, or you must not know what you're talking about.
Oh God.
Like you can't be my friend if you don't agree with me 100% of the time. I feel like that's kind of where we are sometimes. And it's like, no, we're gonna have it is like we're gonna
Yeah.
have differences of opinions. We're gonna have different perspectives. We can look at the same thing with the same information and come to two totally different conclusions. That's just how it is because
Right.
you know things don't happen in a vacuum. We can be looking at something, looking at the same thing, but we may have two very different lived experiences, and that might influence and drive our thinking. And that's actually happened with me with one of those friends that I'm kind of moving away from. Um, we had a discussion, and um, also one thing I'm a big fan of asking questions. So if people refuse to ask questions, I'm scared. I don't mess with
Yeah.
people who think they know everything or are so confident that they don't feel the need to ask any questions. That bothers me.
Right.
But you know, to me, we all have our lived experiences, and I think that is just as important. Sometimes it's more important than facts and everything else out there. But yeah, we're not always gonna agree on everything. But we can
I
yeah,
hope
but we can
so.
definitely have a discussion, a conversation, and I think that's what's missing a lot of times today. It's just these hot takes. People want to just make hot takes for the sake of having a hot take. It's like a lot of times they don't even believe the shit that they're saying. They just want a hot take. But it's like have an actual conversation. Why do you disagree? What is it like?
Right.
What do you disagree with? And why? And just
And why are you getting so upset if somebody disagrees with you? Who
yeah,
cares?
like you can, and it sounds like it's a cliche, but you can disagree without being disagreeable. You don't have to be an asshole just because someone disagrees with you.
Right. And this is something I would have been like, this is just like the perfect example of a topic that I wouldn't have touched with a 10-foot pole a year ago. Like, but now on threads, all I can talk about is like, y'all are being so disrespectful. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane. Like, like, ju- like we could. It's about the littlest things too. Like I see people like somebody will be like, "I like blue peanut M&Ms," and people are like, "You're evil. Get off thread. Like you deserve to be banned from the internet." Like it's not that serious. I mean, I agree. Blue peanut M&Ms are the shit, but like if you don't like them, more for me. Like it's wild. People just get so up in arms about the little things, and like I just it's it's all about lived experience. All about like being able to articulate how you feel and why, and like it's all about accepting that like we all have a different lived experience, and like you said, we can look at the same set of facts and be coming from similar backgrounds even like a perfect example is my siblings and I are all really close in age. And we grew up with we had similar upbringing. We were raised in the same household. And we all have a lot of similarities. We disagree on pretty much everything. And it's not just because it's just like, even though we all grew up in the same house with the same parents, with the same rules, mostly, I had more rules. Um, I swear I had more rules. um, but even though we all had pretty much the same upbringing, we still each had our own individual experience. So if that's the case for like siblings, and I've had this conversation with many of my friends who also have siblings that are close in age, and they feel the same way, then how can you possibly expect that like somebody in like I live in New York, somebody in Maine or Texas who is, 25 years younger or older than me is going to have the same opinions when they look at those set of facts. Like, I can't even agree with my sibling.
Yeah. Like we're all our own person. Like we have our own thoughts and feelings, and you got to respect that. You don't have to agree. um,
And you know what? There's power in being able to express like what you're thinking and seeing and feeling, and I think like that's probably been my biggest takeaway from having this podcast.
yeah. And also for me, I've definitely learned, on the flip side, to just being open to having those discussions. I've also learned, you know what, I don't need to get involved like that. That's also that's another thing. You don't always have to. You don't always have to clap back. You don't always have to have a retort. You don't always have to have a response.
Yeah,
You can just let.
I haven't learned that yet. Maybe I'll learn that from you.
Don't worry.
I always have to have the last word.
Yeah, see me, I used to, but I'm like, doesn't. I guess Noki wants to have the last word. But see, there you go. So wants to have the last word.
Well, somebody who really wants to have the last word is
Yeah, that's
Mr.
Noki. That's what
Noki.
he's trying to get in the conversation. Um,
You have something to say, pal? He's looking at me like,
yeah,
wait,
I
wait.
used to, but I'm like, sometimes it's not even worth engaging. I think that's also where a lot of problems come in, particularly online. It's like everybody feels the need to share their opinion, and I'm like, you could just walk away. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, particularly when it's something that's it's so obviously a troll or just someone trying to start some shit. Like, why even give it any air? Just walk away. And then it spirals into this whole like 55 TikTok video catastrophe with like 100,000 responses, all saying the same shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, I'm so grateful for this space, honestly. I'm grateful that, people have continued to want to listen and be a part of it and support us and continue to listen even when we say crazy things or silly things or it's amazing and it's really goes to show that like it doesn't matter who you are or where you're starting from, like if you've got something to say, like there's somebody to listen that's willing to listen.
No, most definitely. I'm grateful to, like I said, I'm grateful to all of our fans and our followers. It definitely shows that, yeah, there's um, a need for what we do. There's definitely an audience, and I think we're maybe not speaking for them, but definitely trying to, provide a voice for folks like us. So if we can reach someone out there, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I guess I mean I don't know what I was gonna say. How introverted of me. I think that part of it is that my computer battery is dying and I'm too lazy to get up right now. The other part is that my stomach battery, is that a thing?
Just there you
I'm
go.
just
Just
hungry. I'm
hungry.
hungry. I'm not gonna try to be like cute and clever here. My
We
stomach
just had
battery
we
is
just did an
empty.
entire episode about being honest and saying what's on our mind, and you're gonna try to sugarcoat the fact that you're hungry. Just say you're hungry.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm also a hypocrite in many ways, and sometimes I like to pretend that I'm grown a lot, but actually I'm just, I'm still me. I'm still me. I still get hungry at 6:30 every night, like clockwork,
There
no
you go.
matter what. Oh my goodness. Well, this was fun. I'm glad that we did this. We've been talking about doing this for a while, so I'm glad that
Definitely.
it worked out. But anywho, if you guys are listening and if you love this episode, you want us to do more like reflection, deep stuff, let us know. But in the meantime, be sure to rate, review, follow the podcast on your favorite listening platform, and give us a follow on socials. And we'll see you
See you
next
next Tuesday.
Tuesday. Oh, I shouldn't say that. We shouldn't use that expression. You know what
What's
that
expression?
expression is? Not a nice one. See you next Tuesday.
Why?
Think of the letters. C U.
Oh.
I'm gonna just explain
Yeah,
this
I got it.
offline. Yeah. So we'll have to come up with another one for next time. But now, see you next Tuesday. Bye bye. Stay introverted.
I mean, I'm sure people wouldn't have noticed until you call it out. But now that
I always call it
it's
out.
called out, you
Always.
can't
Every
use it. So yeah.
it's right
Yeah.
time.
See you later, folks.
See you later. Next week.
All right, folks. On behalf of Steph, I'm Jay, and Noki, and me, Paul, and Sean, who's hopefully closed this time. I want to thank you all. Stay
Yeah, let's close it before we find
stay
out.
safe, stay clothed, and most importantly, stay introverted. And we're out.
Adios.
there.